Hey guys, so if you are a new digital artist, or maybe you're an artist that hasn't experimented much with blend modes, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way that you can create values based off of just using a simple base color. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and start with the blank canvas. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to start by just drawing out whatever basic line art that you want to use for your project. Now with this one, I'm just doing something very simple and easy. I'm not trying to get too technical with it. I'm going to do a two-tone for the background just because my focus is more on the shape itself, which in this case is a box. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in with a base color. I chose blue because that's my favorite color. And then you're going to select a new layer and you're going to actually change that blend mode to overlay. And you want to make sure that you are choosing your light source before you actually start adding values, because that's where your light is coming from is going to determine where your light source is. So for this box, the light is coming in from the top left, so the top of the box is actually going to have more light reflected off of it than the front, which I leave at that normal 50% gray. And then the right hand side is actually going to be have that core shadow in there, and then your cast shadow as well. So from this point you have a very simple, easy box, and it really only takes you 3 layers. Now from this point on, I'm just kind of experimenting. Well, I say experimenting, but really I'm just drawing at this point, just getting my hand work so I can, you know, see different shapes and different things, because it's good, you know, to constantly be practicing. And even if it's simple throwaway stuff like this, it's good for me as an artist to just go back and kind of remember the basics, because a lot of the time you just don't spend too much time thinking about it outside of when you need it. And it's good to refresh, you know, periodically, and just practice your skills. Simple studies like this are great because it just reinforces the things you already know, and it gives you a chance to kind of learn different things, or, you know, even practice different things. Basic shapes are just kind of where you will develop your skills over time. And I think it's important that if you want to continue to improve, obviously you don't want to forget the things that you've already learned. So you got to continue to practice and just keep pushing forward. So doing stuff like this, it'll allow you to not really get stuck in the muck of, oh, what am I going to draw today? Or, you know, where am I going to find the inspiration? Or maybe, you know, you haven't drawn in a couple days, just to shake the rust out of your hands. Just draw some simple shapes, you know, do some shading with them. Try experimenting with, maybe, you know, you normally draw with one particular brush. Well, doing studies like this is a perfect chance to try experimenting with a different brush. Or maybe, you know, instead of doing a grayscale or a color, you do the opposite of that. There's lots of different ways that you can approach doing a study, or just a practice, or even a warm-up like this. It's just all a matter of working at it with intent. With this one, my intent was just to work using only an overlay layer to help me create my values. So if you see, I've got 3 layers essentially. I have the line art layer, I have the base color layer, and then I have my overlay layer. And the workhorse for this one is being completely done in the overlay layer. So yeah, at this point, you know, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I did that cylinder to the back right, but then I thought, you know, oh, let's make a jar out of this. And then with the ball, I actually am using a different brush that I don't use quite as often, which is the marker brush. The main reason that I don't is because once you lay down a darker marker color, you can't really go back over it with a lighter marker color, so that kind of becomes annoying. So I use some other tools just to try and see how I can work my way around that. Another extra tip for you guys that are digital artists and maybe don't practice or mess around with the brushes all that much, take the time on a study like this to mess with those brushes. You know, put in different patterns and different textures on the brush and see what comes out, because you'll probably find some things that you actually really like the effect of, and it'll help you just improve overall as an artist. Because you don't want to spend time doing things and creating patterns and such when you can just pick a brush and it'll do it for you, or at least it'll help expedite that process. And a lot of digital art, that's what it's about, expediting that process. So if you can expedite the process, do it. And doing it in a study like this will help you later on when you're actually working on something more technical, or something that you want to, a polished piece, let's say, a polished piece. On a polished piece, you want to be able to quickly get in there, you know, do what you need to do and get out. But if you are spending all that time looking for, you know, whatever brush that you want to use, it becomes a lot more difficult, and it's going to divert your energy. So use studies like this to help you, you know, develop a wider set of skills. Practice with things and on things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. You know, pick that extra brush, you know, use that preset, click on those layers, see what they're really about, like investigate. And using simple shapes like these will help you do that without worrying too much about the actual drawing itself. Now this is where your time is to just sit and play around. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just doing some very basic things here, and I'm not really too concerned about the outcome, because again, it's a study, and this is what our final looks like. So you guys keep drawing, and I will see you next time. If you guys have any questions or any tips and hints, maybe you saw a video that you really like, go ahead and leave that in the comments, because like me and everybody else, you never know what you're gonna learn from seeing another video, and we always appreciate it. You guys have a good day.